In America, I think a lot of times the word guru means that this person is like my father. And so I've experienced in America a lot of like weird enmeshment, transference type things.
She's my child. She's one of my own.
I don't think I'm anyone's guru. Even though I've given mantras, taught pujas, and guided people through all of their sadhanas.
How many people have you given Diksha?
67, actually. 67 to 69. We want to create a space of a decentralized authority.
I had a botched operation because I had an unprofessional person who couldn't understand what was happening and who couldn't respect my authority.
I truly, to the core of my being, don't feel like I am in any position of power above them. I've always felt like equals with people.
I should have just Guru Vaked you at that moment and been like, Jwalamukhi, go back to your car. Sleep in your car.
You know that I've always kind of avoided responsibility by saying I am not anyone's guru. It's true, I am confused about like my standards and my principles.
If you want someone who is sane, grounded, stable, responsible, go to the Vedanta Society. Go and get a stable, grounded Swami in orange robes to give you a mantra.
Thursday, July 16th. This person took some notes on the lecture and they saw that there was a question. Someone in the background going, what if I want to kill myself? The response was, if you want to kill yourself, you should kill yourself. We can try to kill ourselves, but we can't succeed unless by the grace of God. You can try to kill yourself, but only if it's Shiva's will. It's not so easy. Nobody dies, and if you kill yourself, good job, Jai Ma. What is lost when the green sari becomes a red sari? There's no death. We have a right to die, and you can decide when it's time. A yogi dies intentionally. If someone kills themselves, it's their business, not ours. It's in Mahadeva's hands. I think everyone can understand how that might also be a dangerous thing to say to someone currently in mental health crisis.
So I did say all of those things, and I do believe all of those things. Yeah, I did say that, and I would say it again. Maybe I shouldn't, but I do believe that. I know that in a teacher-student relationship, there can be asymmetries.
Have you ever done tantric sex rituals with students or initiates, or I guess unrelated to third parties?
With my ex-wife, mostly with unrelated third parties, and once with a student. So there was a girl in my I have a job, a middle school job. I teach children, and there was a case where like this person wanted to read her chart, like she wanted an astrologer, and then I told that girl that the best astrologer that I know right now is, and that you should reach out to her on Instagram if you want and ask her to read your chart, because I was like talking to them about astrology. It's like somebody said that I had this girl in my middle school write a love letter on my behalf to. That wasn't at all what happened. It was more the case that this person wanted her astrology read by, and that's what I did. Like I sent her information, her birth date, her birthplace, so that I could read her chart.
Middle schooler drew a picture of Nish as an angel and his ex-wife as a devil. Makes you wonder what inappropriate relationship information the child was privy to.
So that's not true.
How do you explain that?
Like, she did not draw a picture of that as a devil. That's not true at all. There was a woman a girl in my middle school who drew a picture, like stick figures, of me, and she gave me and wings, and didn't give the stick figure of wings. And this was interesting because I hadn't disclosed more than this, that I was currently in a marriage. I think I told that girl, like I told the class, like we were having a discussion in the classroom about like open relationships and then the kids are like, these are like ninth graders, like they're like older kids, and they were discussing marriage, like nuclear families. The debate was about nuclear families, about the LGBTQIA and non-traditional marriages. It was a World Schools Debating Championships topic, and so the topic was about, I don't think horns and a tail, but maybe you can show me the picture again. I don't remember. But what happened was we were having conversations about non-traditional relationships, and I was explaining to them that like I'm in an open marriage, which I agree might be inappropriate to talk about in my classroom. We were advocating for polyamorous relationships, things like that. And so, yeah.
How does that connect to like the drawing? Or I'm sorry, I'm just not following.
Yeah, so then I was candid with my students. I was like, like these can work. I'm in an open marriage, and I was explaining to my students that I am in an open marriage, and that's a very modern, progressive, like, alternative marriage, and I was giving my testimony that it can work for certain individuals. If a person chose to be in that relationship, it's possible. There are other relationship models available. So then I told the classroom, the whole classroom, by the way, I told the whole classroom that I had recently started seeing someone too, and that it was okay with her. And I told my classroom the name of the person that I was seeing, the name of my wife. I just wing it as we go. And so the lectures happen whenever we want them to happen. The pujas go for as long as we want them to go. Or not at all. If I had to leave a retreat, I would be comfortable staying in a park. I could sleep anywhere, but I'm a man. And I don't have any money, but that's okay. But if there's a woman who doesn't have enough money to buy a motel that night, whose flight is the next day, who doesn't have enough money to get a flight then and there, I totally agree. Like, that's a vulnerable position to be in.
Have you ever sexually assaulted a woman in or outside of the saga?
No. Not that I know of. Not that I know of. Not that I know of. Not that I know of.
We know that spiritual communities attract a lot of psychologically unstable people, and we also know that we are completely out of our depth when it comes to mental health. If you want a different standard of responsibility from me, if you want me to stop bringing psychotic people to retreats, I won't. I'm going to keep bringing psychotic people to your houses.
No, this is what matters about Seattle, right? Like, nobody wanted the girl to go missing. She went missing. The issue has to do with the fact that Jwalamukhi was, like, freaking out about it.
It was in over my head. That's definitely true. Yes. And I admit it to you.
And you were told repeatedly by everyone around you.
Yes, and I didn't listen. And I want to be better at that. Because if I don't, Ma, you won't be here to protect me. I understand that Rakteshwari and Jwalamukhi, both of you are mothers, but right now, you are hysterical mothers. Rakteshwari, you have no idea what happened. You weren't there. Stay out of this. I mean, the mother was right. Obviously, she's screaming because her daughter is lost and she thinks her daughter is dead. I just don't want to hear it right then, you know. And the first 2 times, I gave her 20 minutes. And that's when I was like, look, I cannot be sitting here with my phone uncharged with just like a little bit of battery left, just hearing a mother cry about her daughter. I was rude to her mother, actually.
Just months before this, another young vulnerable girl who was in the Vedanta Society mission for a year and seemingly fine, out for 1 week or 2 weeks, then goes to your house for a week, and then has a fucking psychotic breakdown, and then gets caught up in drugs, and then gets arrested and has now also been put in a fucking psych ward.
Yes. And I want to talk about that because, Ma, I don't want
this to happen. Let's talk about that.
Yes, I don't think we should do another retreat for a while because I don't know how to manage the space. I don't have the institutional protections that some places have. And I've always admitted that I don't have the training to deal with psychiatric issues.
And I really, really believed, like, okay, I should not have brought to the retreat, right? Like, I think that was something that I did say, and I do admit to having said that, right? So then, today, I'm saying, no, you know what? I'm going to stand behind it. I'm going to stand behind the fact that I brought to the retreat, right? Like, I think that was something that I did say, and I do admit to having said that, right? So then, today, I'm saying, no, you know what? I'm going to stand behind it. I'm going to stand behind the fact that I brought, because I came to a different conclusion.
I am not a person that will allow sane, grounded, stable people to retreats because I am not a sane, grounded, stable person. While she was here for 2 weeks, she had mushrooms, but she felt like our space and offering psychedelics in the context of puja and doing them in the context of puja was like her best bet at continuing that exploration, which I was down for. And she would come here and I'd be like, yeah, we'll offer them in puja. I consume them, she consumed them. It was fine. Like almost all the times I've seen her take psychedelics, she was fine.
I used to ingest quite a bit of belladonna, nightshade. There is datura here. We've grown datura in Oxnard, but we never smoked it or consumed it. I consume datura, I consume nightshade.
What drugs are used at retreats?
In the past, there's been nitrous, there's been K, some mushrooms. I don't administer drugs to anybody.
Did you ever give her any substances?
Yes, we would have. She was getting some cocaine, I know. The nitrous was not okay. That was a mistake. We should have not let her have it to any degree. And then we did decide that she wouldn't have it. and then we cut her off, and yet she still found ways to get it in our community, which was unfortunate. It happened on my watch, certainly, and that was admittedly my mistake.
Is it made clear that that drugs would be part of the happenings?
No, it isn't drugs aren't, it's not part of the program to use drugs in such cases, right? So it's not made clear, and it's not the case that it's always gonna if we're just all meeting in the park, I don't expect that people will be doing drugs, and if they are doing drugs, I've not warned anyone that that's going to be happening.
Are the drugs being used in sadhana? Is it part of a spiritual practice, or is it just recreational?
Both.
You, Jwalamukhi, stormed into my ritual space. Jwalamukhi, you interrupted my exorcism. I was there. I had it on control. She was hanging from a tree. She was screaming. I was chanting the Chandi.
I just wanted to hold space and give her spiritual tools to help ground her. Spiritual tools.
Nish, you're the one who kept calling it an exorcism. You're the one who kept saying she was possessed. And because of that, it led to people referring to her as a demon. Grasini Ma literally, she told me that's why she didn't follow her into the night, because she believed she was a demon, and you told her to stay. You told everyone to ignore her. You told people not to follow her.
I know, and that was bad leadership on my part. And anything I admitted to you in private about my failures, know that I'm willing to admit again to anybody. I concede that was my mistake. I should have taken responsibility, and I didn't.
I'm going to tell you about the exorcism stuff later, and Mahadeva will weigh in. Only Shunyavahini and Mahadeva will understand this next piece. And Viranatha. Only those of you who are there in Portland or Seattle will understand the gravity of what we're dealing with right now. I need to convey it to you because it's very important detail, and I couldn't yet until now because we're fighting it. We're fighting it on so many levels. You need to know about this yogini that have to do with exorcisms that I need to tell you about because it's my duty by dharma to tell you about them.
Do you believe the woman who went missing in Seattle and or Jwalamukhi to be possessed or afflicted by a yogini? If so, can you explain that? What kind of spiritual affliction did you aim to appease by conducting the exorcism you referenced, in which you described a girl hanging from a tree and screaming?
Yes, I think the Abrahamic framing of an exorcism is really unhelpful here. We were not trying to exorcise a spirit in the way a Jehovah's Witness might exorcise a spirit. The girl was not hanging from a tree. She climbed a tree because she liked to be up in the branches, and she was in the branches. She climbed up by herself, and she was leaning down from the branch and being in someone's face and laughing hysterically. Now, to what extent is that a possession? I don't think we can think of this along Abrahamic lines. I wasn't trying to get rid of the spirit, and the framing around it being a spirit, remember, we can speak about it in purely Freudian, Jungian, grounded psychological terms. When Jwalamukhi started getting angry, I don't think that's truly indicative of the kind of person that she is. I've known her to be an incredibly kind, incredibly gracious, incredibly sweet individual. When Rama went missing, she acted in a way that was unpredictable and in a way that nobody would think she would act. And so anger to me, anger and fury, that's enough for me to say there's Shakti flowing through there that needs to be addressed. And what that looks like is not beating it out of them. God knows a Shakta is not interested in getting rid of Shakti. So when I say Jwalamukhi is possessed, I'm saying she's saying things and doing things that she might come to later regret because she's acting from a place of anger and fear.
I do remember you referring to it as an exorcism yourself, personally.
Yes,
Is
yes.
that something that you're trying to distance yourself from and say, I shouldn't have been calling it that?
Yes, I agree.
I mean, as in the moment, did you offer an exorcism? What was
I totally, I used that word. I was saying, doesn't want to act in this way, as she herself told me. And she wants to act from a place of more sovereignty, and she feels like she cannot do that when she's, in this state. So we don't want to get rid of that state the way, psychiatric medicine might. Yes, so this is important. I use the word exorcism, but I use that word in a small group of people who I believe to understand what we meant by that term.
There's still the question of what was the reference to the yogini. What does that mean in that context, very briefly?
So, I actually don't know how to answer this because there are people who are not, as Eric G. rightly pointed out in the chat, culturally literate on these things. And I think it would take a bit of time. more than 2 minutes and 22 seconds to explain what I mean by yogini.
But
to
specifically in the context of Jwalamukhi and...
An impersonal expression of anger and rage and intensity that person themselves would rather not be acting under. And that is in and of itself valuable and beautiful and can be directed and harnessed in a way that is actually enriching and empowering to that person's life.
But is it something that is happening to them? Like, were they controlled by the yogini? Were they, is it an affliction, a sickness,
No. When I give a lecture and I'm in flow, the sauce that you referred to earlier, to me that's the yogini. It's what maybe Socrates would call a daimon, like a presence of an energy that allows a person to do things they otherwise might not have been able to do. A beautiful musician, when they're improvising in a jazz solo...
It was a negative context, yes.
No, I don't think the yogini was negative at all. And I don't think we, even when we used the word exorcism, ever as a community framed it as something negative. Because if it was negative, if we felt that it was unsafe and in a negative space, we wouldn't have brought her. Instead, we think a Shaiva space is one that is actually able to host such things and not frame them as negative.
If it's considered positive, if the yogini is positive, if it is a powerful energy that we want in this kind of context, what's the point of doing anything about it?
My last statement. So it's not seen as negative, but it's not seen as inherently positive either, because anger, fear, while not negative, can still be something that is spiritually not nourishing. It can ruin one's life. It can cause them to do things that they later regret.
In the previous forum, I remember you saying that you had lied about something and that you had caught to lying about something. Did I make that up, or was there some untruths told? Just yes or no?
I don't know.
I was trying to conceal any and all facts around her drug use, and I was also trying to conceal any and all facts around her involvement with Kali, with Kaulachara, with Vamachara. I didn't want to say anything about how unorganized we were, because we were all just sleeping in a park. I didn't want her family to know that Rama was sleeping in a park. And I didn't want her family to know that we're not an organization, that we don't have a mandir, this is just my apartment. I excluded Jwalamukhi from that conversation because she was the host of the retreat. I excluded Sarada from that conversation because she was the host of the next retreat.
And you misrepresented facts in your video. You misrepresented facts in the chat. You misrepresented information to his family. You made it look like you were leading a search that you weren't fucking leading, that you were being forced to participate in.
I have some public forums. I've been meaning to do that. I want you to be there, and I want you to lead them and facilitate them, and I will answer questions, and you can maybe pause it. Like, these are the things that you said. These seem like they were misrepresenting facts, and then I can, like a defendant or something in a case, like admit to where I was wrong, and like I promise you, I'm not going to try to be defensive. I'm not going to try to save face here.
My strategy is that if I don't give her like this platform to moderate, if I don't like give her some place to like express these energies, she's just going to express them anyway in this really unregulated, destructive way of leading an internet campaign against me. I thought if I just appease and give her the sense that she has the reins, although I don't ever actually mean to give her the reins, I just want to shut her down.
Don't leave me, Ma. I'm begging you. Please don't leave me, because it's like, I don't want this to happen to another woman. I need to protect myself from myself, other women from themselves. I need to protect other women from the darker aspects of me that need some checks and balances.
I took Diksha into this lineage, this Shaiva Siddhanta lineage, as part of my family, samskaras, like you get the Vedic samskaras of drawing your first Sanskrit letter. Like at age 9, I was formally then brought into the lineage. My grandfather did that samskara. Since then, I have taken Diksha with different acharyas in the Shaiva world. I've taken Diksha into a different Shri Vidya situation. Some of you might actually know that community, but this is all, importantly, in Shaivism, yes. Importantly, what you need to know is that I took Diksha into the Ramakrishna lineage in 2021, and I've been in that lineage, and prioritizing, repping Ramakrishna, Vivekananda, and Sarada Devi mostly, since then. So that's my lineage. Shaiva Siddhanta, Shaivism, Shri Vidya. Oh, also you should note that this is coming from my father's side of the family. So it was my paternal grandfather who initiated me into Shaiva Siddhanta. My maternal grandfather more than my paternal grandfather, but my grandfathers on both sides practiced and performed Vamachara Puja.
Who is your Vamachara guru?
Oh, that's easy. Sri Ramakrishna.
When someone signs up to get Diksha from you, which tradition are they getting it from?
It's not the RKM Ramakrishna lineage.
So are you giving Diksha in Vamachara specifically?
No, I'm giving Diksha in Shaivism, and it includes the whole spectrum. The Shaiva heritage includes texts and traditions, and a person can learn from a text. And I have learned so many things from texts that my grandfather did not himself in person teach me, and that he himself did not practice.
Why is it okay for you to do it from a text? Can anyone do it from a text?
I think so. I want to empower people to be able to practice from text, like I did.
I'm a madman.
Because I'm irresponsible with the way people assume everyone will see me as an equal, that people won't put me on a pedestal, people won't look to me for direction or leadership, and that's just like pure negligence on my end, because of course they are, and they will increasingly do that as our community grows bigger and as my platform becomes like more established. I will try my best moving forward to, I don't know, like do better